Hey guys, it's Susan Thomas, and today I want to talk to you about 3 different ways that you can use cabochons. So cabochons are really fun little gemstone pieces, but there's something about them that's a little bit confusing for a lot of people. They don't have holes. This is a cabochon right here. You can see that it's flat on the back and then smooth and domed on the front. This is also a cabochon. Same thing, flat on the back, smooth and domed on the front. The thing that's the same about both of them is neither one has any holes. So we're gonna learn today about some different ways that you can wire wrap these and attach them to your jewelry that are really, really cool. All right, so I'm gonna show you 3 different ways that you can attach cabochons to your jewelry. In order to do this, you're definitely gonna need some cabochons. Any color will do, just whatever you really love. Now, you're also going to need some bails. These are glue-on bails, and you're gonna need either some glue or some of these little bead fix strips, which are wonderful. They've got glue or tape on both sides, and they're double-sided, so you can use those just to attach your bail. Really, really easy. Then you're gonna need some 20 gauge wire. I've got some here in copper and in silver. You can use gold or silver or copper, whatever you like, but it really needs to be 20 gauge. And then you're going to need some strips of patterned wire in order to make a little cuff bracelet like this. And then optionally, if you want to, you can have some chain because we're gonna make a couple pendants and you might wanna put one of those pendants on your chain. As far as tools are concerned, we're going to need a flush cutter and we're going to need a pair of chain nose pliers. We're also gonna need a pair of round nose pliers. These just appeared by magic in my video. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna show you the easiest way to attach a cabochon to anything, and that is just to glue a bail onto the back side, that flat side of your cabochon. So you can see I just have this pretty bail right there, and it's just glued on the back, and that can be then hung on a chain. So in order to do that, you're just gonna get one of these little glue-on bails. It's got the little bail here at the top, and then this is a nice big pad to glue to the back. You want to have one that has a nice big surface like this, so there's lots of surface area for it to be glued to your cabochon so it's nice and secure. And then you're going to take one of these little bead fix strips. They come in a little strip like this that you can tear one off of and use for your cabochon. And I kind of like to cut these before I attach them to the back of the strip there. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take another one. I'm gonna get this one off the end here so you can see kind of where that comes off. And then I'm just gonna cut it in a similar shape to my little pad there. There's other ways to do this, but this is just the way that I like to do it. Okay, so now I am going to take off one side of the adhesive and I'm going to put this onto my little bail, just like that. And then you just need to pick off the other side of the paper so that you can glue it to your cabochon. There we go. Like that. So now that's sticky. So now I just need to pick a cabochon. I really like this one. So I am going to just glue that right in the center, or it's really just stick that right in the center there. Voila. That is ready. And so now, I mean, that is about the easiest way that you can do any piece of jewelry. And now I can just put that on a piece of chain like so, and voila, look what I made. So that was the easy way. Now, I'm gonna get one here that's got a little bit different shape, and I'm gonna show you how you can freeform wire wrap this. All right, so I'm gonna use some bare copper wire on this just because I like the way the copper looks with this turquoise piece, but you could use silver or gold, which is whatever color you want. Just for me, you really need to use a heavier gauge wire, like a 20 gauge to do this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pull ourselves about 2.5 feet of wire, because you need a lot of wire to wrap a cabochon. I'm going to take my wire, and you wanna make sure that you have some wraps that go up and down and some wraps that go side to side. So I'm just gonna leave myself enough that I can make a bail, and then I'm gonna start wrapping up and around. And I'm gonna wrap 2 times around that way, and then 2 times around this way. And then I'm gonna come up from the bottom so that I have a piece that extends the full length of the front of the cabochon and a piece that extends the full length of the back of the cabochon. And then I'm gonna pinch these two guys together, and I'm gonna take this short piece and I'm gonna wrap it around the long piece. Easiest way to do that is to grab that with my chain nose plier and then grab that short piece and wrap it a couple times around the long piece. And then I'm just gonna take my flush cutter and trim that off flush. So, and then if there's any little pieces sticking out, I am just going to squeeze that down. Now you can see I've got just a little bit of looseness on the wires here. And so what you can do to finish that off is you can take either a chain or a flat nose plier and you can kind of bend these into different little shapes. I call them lightning bolts, but what it really does is kind of tightens everything up. So see, I gotta grab that with the edge of my chain nose plier and I twisted it. So not only does this tighten up the wire, but it also kind of adds a decorative element. So I'm gonna twist that one up, and then I'm gonna take this other one here and twist that one up. And then finally, I'm gonna take this one in the center, I'm gonna twist that right here. And then also right down here. This is still a little loose, so I'm gonna come to the back and I'm gonna do the same thing. It doesn't matter how pretty it is, you just don't want them to stick out from the back. So I'm just going to just bend those and bend those just like so. And so now everything is nice and tight. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my bail at the top. So I'm gonna take my chain nose plier, and grab that little coil and bend this back. And then I'm gonna grab my round nose plier and I am going to wrap this around my round nose plier one time just to make a bail. And then just because I want to make this a little bit sturdier, I'm gonna wrap it around a second time, like so. And then I'm gonna take all this extra wire and I'm gonna make kind of a crazy wrap up here to finish this off, because this will also secure the tip of the cabochon here and make it nice and tight, just like so. So now I just have that little piece on the back. I'm just gonna trim that off. And I'm gonna use my chain nose plier to squish that guy down in there, like so. Pretty neat, right? Now, you can also use a similar technique to make a cuff bracelet. To do that, you're gonna need to use some of your patterned wire that I have here. Love these little strips. They come just like this. They're actually 6 inches long, which is the perfect length for an average size cuff. I made both of these with the 6 inches of wire here. So basically all you need to do is take a bracelet mandrel and hammer this around the bracelet mandrel into that cuff shape. Now, you can also use a pre-made cuff if you already have one. There's lots of those out there. You don't have to make your own cuff, but this is a really neat way to make your own little cuff. So I've already got a couple of those made here, and I'm gonna use the silver one to attach a cabochon to the top. And so you basically kind of the same thing, just need to pick one that you like the looks of. Like this blue one would look really pretty. I really love this one, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and use that because I think it's cute, but just whatever suits your fancy. So I'm gonna use silver wire. Once again, I'm using 20 gauge. And I'm gonna pull off a couple feet and cut that with my flush cutter. I'm going to attach the 20 gauge wire to my cuff by wrapping a few times on one side. I like to make it kind of like a messy wrap. I just think it looks cooler on these cuffs, but that is entirely up to you. You can go really neat if you want to, or you can make it messy. And then I'm just gonna squeeze down that little end into those wraps so that I can't feel it. You wanna make sure that you really push that in nice and tight so that you don't feel it on the inside of the cuff. And sometimes I even cut it on the top and hide it underneath the cabochon just so that I can't feel it, because I really don't want anybody to complain about the pain of feeling a piece of wire. What you're gonna do now is you're just gonna hold that cabochon in place and you're gonna wrap a couple times this way, and then you're gonna come back across with a third wrap, and then you're gonna come back across once again. And then I'm just gonna take this extra wire here on this side and kind of holding everything in place, I'm gonna wrap that same as I done on the other side. And see, I'm gonna try to hide that right underneath there. I'll just trim it off and then use my chain nose plier to squeeze that up in there. And then, same as the other time, see how it's still a little bit loose here? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your chain nose plier and you're gonna tighten everything up. Voila, cute. See, it's all nice and secure in there. And now I can wear that as a little cuff bracelet. Ta-da! I like it. So there are 3 easy ways to start working with gemstone cabochons. Just remember, the easiest way is just gonna be to use some adhesive to glue or fix a bail onto the back of your cabochon. Very simple. String it on a piece of chain and voila, you have a necklace. The next way that I showed you was to freeform wire wrap a cabochon. It's a little bit easier to do if you have one that has kind of an irregular shape. And then finally, I showed you guys how to wire wrap one onto a little cuff bracelet, which is really, really cute, and I hope you like it. All right, in order to do these projects, you're gonna need some tools and supplies. Of course, you're gonna have to have an assortment of cabochons. Just have a lot of ones here that are different shapes and sizes that you can choose from. Really, it just needs to be one that really speaks to you and that you like. Then you're also gonna need some supplies, including some 20 gauge wire. And if you want to make the little cuff, you're going to need either a pre-made cuff or a piece of this patterned wire to make your own little cuff. And then of course you're going to need a glue-on bail and either some glue or these fantastic little bead fix tabs. As far as tools are concerned, you're going to need your round nose plier, your chain nose plier, and your flush cutter. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys would like to pick up some supplies like the ones I worked with today, check out the links down below. Are there any other ways you'd like to see me work with cabochons? Tell me about it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.